Governments make up somewhere between 30 and 45, 48% of the GDP of economies across the OECD countries. You can see where we fit in the mix, but we're all mixed economies. But at the basis of that mixed economy have to be strong markets. Are markets getting bigger? Yes. Are they becoming coordinated? Yes. Are they coming together? Yes. Is the world globalizing? Yes. Okay, there's a level of integration that's taken place under NAFTA. There are issues that we still have, but we have to deal with the world as we find it. Every time we have an advantage which gives us access to markets in the United States, which is greater than the Americans would like to see, they respond. I'm not ideologically opposed to a sensible Buy Canada provision if I think it's going to match what other countries are doing, and it's something that we have to do, and it's within the framework of our legal structure and of our international obligations. But we are members of WTO. We are part of a big world, and that world is good for our prosperity. It's good for Canadians, and there's frankly, no other way than for us to be engaged in this world. We are in the middle of a very, very difficult financial crisis, not only in Canada, not only in the United States, but around the world. When the leaders of the G20 got together, Social Democrats, Conservatives, Liberals, let no one think for a moment, Madam Speaker, that by creating these autarkic economic models in our head, where the picture in their heads in the economy seems to be one where some bright boffin in Ottawa will manage the trade between one country and another and say, you're going to produce over here and you're going to produce over here. Madam Speaker, that ain't the way the world works. It's not the way the world should work. It's not the way the world will work. The moment of decision is coming in the American Congress, and it's our responsibility to respond effectively and aggressively, not political philosophy, not some abstract economic ideology, but the simple facts of the way things are right now, Madam Speaker, the better off we'll all be. Thank you very much.
He attacked a whole variety of things. He attacked managed trade, which I suppose means that he opposed the Auto Pact. He attacks Buy Canada, so very clearly agrees with his conservative counterparts that we shouldn't take any measures to protect Canadian industries, but he also attacked the steelworkers. Why is he attacking steelworkers when they're the ones that are impacted and they're the ones that have told him that the NDP approach on a coordinated strategy is right?
Member from Toronto Centre.
Madam Speaker, first of all, I don't know whether he's supporting it or opposing it. It sounded to me like he was opposing it. If now he's saying he's not, well, we'll wait for them to fall off the fence one way or the other. We'll just have to see what they do. I have no idea what they're going to do. It wasn't clear from his speech, obviously. Secondly, I never attacked Buy Canada. What I said was whatever we do has to be compatible with our international obligations. And he said, is it legal or illegal? I said, if it's legal, we'll do it. If it's not legal, we won't do it. It's simple as that. He's the one who's attacking steelworker jobs in Algoma. He's the one who's attacking steelworker jobs in Hamilton. He's the one who's attacking steelworker jobs in Regina. He's the one who's refusing to recognize, wouldn't it be nice if we could work out some new trade pact on steel? We're not going to be able to do that in 5 minutes, but Congress is going to be passing this measure in 5 minutes. My friends in the New Democratic Party, because they're still my friends, I'll say to them very clearly, I hope they'll stand up with their fellow parliamentarians and hope they'll stand up for Canadian workers and say no to American protectionism, because it's bad for America and it's certainly bad for Canada, Madam Speaker.
Until very, very recently, the honourable member was the strongest advocate within his party for a coalition agreement with the NDP that would have probably seen the leader of the NDP as the industry minister and may very well have seen the honourable member from Burnaby, New Westminster as the Minister for International Trade. And I'm just wondering if the honourable member could square that circle for us.
At that time, I have no problems in saying what was there was there. What's happened since has happened. All I'm telling the honourable member is, Canada has a moment at which we need to come together as a parliament. In my view, the vote next week should be a unanimous vote.
As a fact, any government in Canada has to have a close relationship with their American partners, regardless of what their political colour is.
Honourable member from Toronto Centre has 15 seconds.
Madam Speaker, just on a very personal note, my father was minister in the Canadian Embassy in the 1950s. I was Richard Nixon's newspaper boy. What could be a greater sign of cooperation than for me as a young 9 or 10-year-old to be delivering papers to Richard Nixon. I can assure you my conspiracy theories coming from the other side. I can assure the honourable member that everyone's cool.
Reprise du débat.
Resuming debate.